Hey, I'm back in the craft room today and I'm going to show you how to get started doing crochet. Come on closer. So here you've got the end of your yarn and you're trying to figure out how to get started because crochet is all about loops. So you got to start with a loop somehow. So a lot of people, there's a lot of different ways to do it. So basically what you do, what I do is you make a little loop and then you pull an end through to be the actual loop. So what you just made into a loop ends up kind of being the knot. So if you grab the long end, the end that goes to the rest of your yarn, what that means is that'll be the side that you pull to make it tighter. Most people want the loose end to be the one that makes it tighter because then it's easy to tighten up afterwards. The other way you're kind of stuck with whatever size you've got. So you make a little loop and then you basically pull it through. So whatever it takes to pull it through. It doesn't have to be fancy. Some people use the crochet hook. Since you only do this once per each piece, it's not super important how you do it. But you can see there I basically pulled the tail end through, if you want to call it that. So that means you can pull the tail end to make it tighter. So make a loop and then pull it through. Now if you try to pull through part that like on the wrong side, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna turn it like this, and you can see how that lays, and then you're like, oh, let me pull this through. What you'll see happen is, well, that doesn't work because it wasn't on the opposite side. So just, if it doesn't seem to be working, try twisting the other way when you make your loop, and then so you just make a little loop going that way, and then if you pull through the tail, like hold on to the end of the tail, pull that through, and it'll kind of knot up, and then what you'll have is a little knot that you can pull the tail of to make tighter. It's pretty easy. Make a loop, pull the tail, like hold on to the end of the tail and pull some of that tail part through, and there's your little slip knot. And you know, you do it a few times. There, oh, I messed it up, so let me do it again. Because again, this only takes a few seconds out of your whole project, so it really doesn't matter if this takes you a little longer or isn't quite the quickest thing to do. And you're like, okay, so now I've got a loop. Well, now you've got a loop. So now you can basically start crocheting from that. So remember, crochet is just 3 things. I'll put a link to the video up here. I don't know, somewhere. One of the corners, I don't know. So now you've got your little loop, and you can pull the tail to make it tighter, or you can make it bigger to get started. So then you make your little claw, your little crochet claw hand. So I think it runs up like, I usually do it like over the back, over my finger. So I'm holding it with my middle finger and thumb. And then you kind of have this little bit of yarn or thread or string or whatever you want to call it. I don't know the right term. You have that going up over your finger, and then usually there's like a little tension down over your pinky. So it kind of forms this weird little claw, but then you've got access to the yarn there. So crochet is just 3 things. I've got another video that shows you that. So there's only 3 moves you really have to know. So to get started, you put the needle in. So you put it through the one hole because, well, that's the only option. Then the other move is you yarn over, and at this point that's about all you can do, because what else could you possibly do? You could pull it back out. That's the other move, but now you're not really going to get anywhere if all you do is put the needle in and pull the needle out. So at some point you have to yarn over. That's how you kind of add to your work. So then you yarn over and pull through. Now you have done a chain. Now for getting started on things that work in the round, amigurumi or things like this, it's not a great picture of it on here, but there's this little hat. Well, it's not really a hat. It's a bag that looks like a snowman wearing a hat. And it does everything in the round. For it, you need a ring to get started. And so let me go back to the very beginning and just show you again. Stick the needle in, yarn over, pull it out to make a chain. That's very common to do because then what that gives you is something to work in. You can't really work in nothing, so you have to do something so that you have a piece to work in. Now to make a chain, you can pretty much go anywhere. You can kind of find a spot, but what always seems to work best for me is going into that area. So it's the little, so I'll show you again. So it's like when you pull it through, you'll get this one, like you'll get the little loop from the thread, yarn, string, whatever, that is formed when you pull through that first chain. And that's the hole that I tend to use when I'm making my starting rings. So stick the needle in, yarn over, pull the needle out, yarn over, again, pull through. You've now done one single crochet in the starting ring, and that hole will get kind of big. What's neat though is if you made the tail the part that you pull, you can pull that tighter and then shrink it back down. So it's kind of okay that it kind of opens up and is big. For this one, you're supposed to do 10. And a lot of the amigurumi or amigurumi, I don't know how to pronounce it, the little characters that you make in the round, sometimes it starts with 6. This one starts with 10. Right. Hook in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, both. That's 2. So we've got our crochet, you stick it in that same hole. It seems like it's getting really big, and that's just because it's loosening up and pulling this tail through, but you'll be able to pull the tail later. So stick it in, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 3. So we need to do a 4th one. You stick the needle in, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through those 2. That's 4. And you can kind of count by counting the little V's. So there's 1V, 2V, 3V, 4V. So that's 4 crochet that you've done. Stick it in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Remember, it's just 3 things. 3 moves and you're crocheting. Stick the needle in, that's 1 move. Yarn over is the 2nd move, and pull the needle out is the 3rd move. Then you go back, do the 2nd move again, yarning over, 3rd move, pulling through. So it's just those 3 things. So what's that up to? 5? Let's call that 5. So stick the needle in, kind of hold the work to one side, pull through, yarn over, pull through. We're at 6. Now let's say your ring only needed 6. Well, then what you could do, the hard part of starting the ring is generally getting back to the starting point and figuring out where that is. One trick that I've done is to put a, when I use really dark yarn, what I'll sometimes do is put a little holder, a little ring holder in there. So you see I found the little V, and I'm going to do a single crochet in there and just close the ring. Now, different people like different things. Some people like to just make it a slip stitch, and that's where you don't yarn over again, you just pull it through. Remember, it's just 3 things, so there's only a couple of options here. So you can either just pull it through, and now that's a slip stitch closing it, or you could make it into a, and that's pretty common, or you could yarn over and pull it through and kind of make it into its own full single crochet on that one, and then you can start going, you can keep going in the round. And you see now I'm working on kind of the 2nd ring on that loop going around. So you can see there's the 1st ring that we did going around there, and then there's the 2nd ring getting started. I'll do a couple more just to so it becomes more obvious. And then stick the crochet in here underneath the little V's, pull it through, you see how that, see you have this little, it's almost like a little N, or a little, it's like it's kind of an upside down V. You go like that, and there you go. Pull through, yarn over, pull through to make the single crochet. So now you can really start to see how kind of half of it has 2 layers going around, and the other side is still just on that first ring. So let me go get something and I'll show you another trick. So these are little stitch markers. I got these at Daiso, basically the Japanese dollar store. They have a whole pack of them there for $1.50. Everything, it's $1.50 store, I guess. But you can find these. You can basically make your own, or just use a clothespin or something. They're kind of nice. These little plastic ones. So I'd recommend picking them up, and it's a big pack of them, of like 40 or something like that. It's a lot of them for $1.50. I don't know, 20, whatever it is. It's plenty. So what you can do is use this to mark the beginning of the ring, or the, kind of where the ring starts, so when I get back to there, I've gone around once, which is easy to tell kind of right now, but when you get started, or when you get further along on bigger pieces, and it all kind of starts looking the same. So let me frog this. This is what that is called when you just pull everything back out. Start completely over. Show you one more time. This time using a stitch marker. I'm gonna make a little loop, and then I'm gonna pull I'm gonna hold onto the tail end and pull it through, or just kind of slide my hand so that all the junk that I have turns into the knot. And if I do that, get a little ring. I can tighten up by pulling the tail, hold it, go in there, do a chain, which is basically stick in, yarn over, pull through. That is a chain. And then I'm going to start a single crochet in that little loop that I formed. Let me loosen it up a little bit. You can see right there it is. So there's the spot. Yeah, there we go. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both, single crochet. And then now it's like, I've got that little V. See that little V spot is where I put my marker. And what that means is this is where I will join it to when I am done. So it's like, okay, I need to do 10 for this project. So let me do 10. I'll speed this up a bit. So hold on. So this is the 10th one. So that's 10, chain 10. Then it says to join the chain and pull tight. So I've got my 10 going around, and I kind of let it loop up while I was doing it. So now I need to go through that spot. So I can either try to do it with that in there, or I can pull it out and then just put that in there and do. So then you can join it by just basically doing a slip stitch, which is stick in, yarn over, pull all the way through, and now I've got 10. Then, now the big debate I've seen, or all the instructions always say to now do a chain and then start going into it. And so then you would start going around again. Then I've seen lots of videos saying, well, you should go into this one. That's really the right one to go into, because you need to do that. You need to, some people just go into the next one. Some people don't do the chain stitch. It really is up to you. Try a few different things, see what works. I feel like different things work better on different projects. It's kind of how you want it to look. On little characters, I don't like doing the extra chains because I never seem to get them clean looking, so I just keep going around and I just kind of join them and keep going, and don't I don't really do an extra chain in there, so it probably doesn't look exactly like everybody else's, but works for me. I like it. But there you go. So you can see that goes around. And what you could do is, after you make a crochet, that you say, oh, that's the one that I want to use to start the chain. I want to keep track of where I was at. You put the little marker in there, and then when you come back, when you get all the way around, chaining into each of those little V spots, you'll know that you went back around once. And so if you just keep going without doing a chain, what you'll see happens is it becomes a little harder to tell where you started, especially as the work gets a little bigger. It's a little harder to tell. Anyway, that kind of shows you how to get started, and then you've got to follow patterns and instructions as you go around more. What these things are really for is you put these in a loop like that, and now you can't frog your work by mistake by pulling on it. So this is what it's really meant for, is to put that in there to hold the work from undoing. But it also works as just a little stitch marker. So anyway, there you go. How to start crochet. This is probably way too long of a video, probably a lot more rambly than other ones. So thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you know what? If you made it this far, you don't even have to like and subscribe, because you're really just enjoying the content. And you know what? You'll probably not watch anything else that I make. Not even the crochet is just 3 things, which I don't know if I can link to it again or what. But thanks for watching. Do you want to see more crochet videos? Do you want to see this project when it gets done? I could show you one that's done. Let me go grab it. Here it is, all done. You can see this is basically the start of it down here, and you can see it just goes around and around and around, and then you switch colors, and then it makes it into this little kind of bag that you can put things in. It's like a little gift bag, and then you pull the little strand, and then it makes them into a little hat. It's kind of cute. So thanks for watching. I could show you how these things are done, but I don't know. Thanks for watching. If you want to like this video, that would be great. Leave a comment. What was your favorite part? What was the most useful part? Was there any useful part? Is this all stupid? Whatever. I don't care. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Crochet. Enjoy your time with your family. And have a good one.